Good morning, everyone. This is Charlotte, and we are chatting in cars. This is a podcast where I talk about random shit. And yes, I do swear. That's the reason there's a trigger warning at the start. It's currently 7:20, and I'm about to drive to my school, or a school, my first school of the week. Oh, I don't know if you've been listening to the other podcasts, but I am a teacher, and this is my job. So chatting in cars helps me to wake my brain up. Helps me deal with some traumas and shit. There is a trigger warning at the start of this podcast because there are definitely some sensitive topics, and besides the fact that I swear like a sailor, I'm not going to hold back, quite frankly. I have no need to. This is my podcast, and you have absolutely every right to be the adult that I know you are and change the channel. If not, sign up, settle in, get ready to hear some weird shit. Alright, the topic for today's podcast is courage. Courage, what is courage? Bearing in mind this is just me rambling shit in the morning because my brain's not awake properly and I've had 5 coffees. What is courage? Courage is something to do with bravery. Something to do with doing the right thing, I would hope. Or is that valor and an integrity? Courage is doing something that is right in the face of insurmountable obstacles and the odds against you. Having the balls, I say the balls. Maybe I should mean the vagina, I don't know. Considering balls are quite sensitive. Having the balls to carry on in spite of, problems which may arise. When we think about courage, we think of mainly things like soldiers and firefighters and police people and, people that are facing horrible circumstances, which lead to, being scared, having a fear of what might come. And these people use courage to bolster their actions and push forward. In stoic terms, it's, feeling the fear, knowing the events which could occur, and pushing forward anyway. My family comes from the East End of London. We're first generation Cockneys, funny enough. Before that, we're Irish. But during the Blitz, which is when my grandma was living there, she was faced with a shitload of horrible. She was. Things were getting blown up. People were getting blown up. My granddad told me one time he was walking home and turned around and, someone got blown up and all kinds of horrible stories. So this is in their own backyard. So you'd have to have a certain level of courage to deal with that kind of shit on a daily basis. Coming through poverty cycle terms, you absolutely need courage to keep going because you're not allowed to just give up, really, are you? To give up is to die, really. There's no safety net out here. So we have to have the balls to keep pressing forward despite these horrible, horrible circumstances. And currently I know people are losing jobs and, their life chances and things like that are being reduced significantly because of circumstances outside of their reach. And it's not really their fault. It's not. We all placed our bets in what we were going to do with life, and we didn't know what circumstances were coming. We know that they're now shit for a bit. But again, it's temporary. We use our courage and we keep pressing forward. We find ways and means. I'm just going to have to right now say I'm sorry if my voice is fucked up. I have got sick again. It's not COVID. Perks of being a teacher. I'm sick again. My voice has gone messed up. So if I cough or snort, I'm so sorry. It's in your ear. I was well for about a week and now I'm sick again. But yeah, as a teacher, we are courageous in what we do, I suppose. We're in the trenches, and I'm a relief teacher, so I'm more mercenary than, anything, because I have to be on my feet and get going when I need to go. I have to have the balls to adapt and get in there, muck in. As a teacher, we're sitting there, we don't have hazard pay. Even though we're in the midst of a miasma of disease at this current point. In shit circumstances, facing the already established challenges of the classroom. And we're losing jobs and money and all kinds of things. So, that's just one glimpse into it's a snapshot of one social area having to use courage to keep going. I mean, we've all got mental issues. I can guarantee you that. There's not one teacher out there that has not got some kind of an issue. And that comes from the job. But I've seen worse, I have to say. I mean, I know you're not supposed to say, oh, it could be worse. It's because that's sort of, I want to say negative positivity or false positivity. They call it something. I can't remember what it's called, but, fuck it. I use that mentality all the time because it does get you through. It could fucking be worse. Let's look at this realistically. None of us could have jobs. And whilst the odds are a bit, not in our favour right now, they will pick up. So you got to be brave. You got to keep pushing forward. Worse jobs are out there. Look at soldiers, actual soldiers in the trenches. I say trenches. We don't use trench warfare anymore. But helmet. Oh no, a dead Quenda. Oh, that's horrible. Anyway, Ukraine at the moment is going through hell, but they're being courageous in defending their land, their place, their heritage, their everything. I'm totally stoked because I was just watching something on Facebook this morning and the Russians are withdrawing. And I'm like, fucking yeah. Fuck those guys. What they tried to do was take something by force. And it doesn't work. It just breeds insurgency and people get pissed off. And you know what? The Ukrainians saw this shit coming for years. So they've had time to prep. I don't know why they thought they would have won. I don't think it's the end of whatever the invasion is with Russia and Ukraine at this point, but it's a fucking good step forward for Ukraine. And I say fucking yes. Because who the fuck does Putin think he is at this point? It's all ego. At start, I thought this was like a bucket list thing, because I know he's got some kind of cancer, but I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? You're going out, so you want to go out with a bang, is it? That's not courage, that's ego, that's insecurities and shallow stupidity. It's like, he knows he's gonna die soon, so he wants to take everyone down with him. That's what it is. It gives me the shit. Oh, those people are assholes. That's not having courage. And besides the fact that he's been sitting in his little ivory tower for the majority of the fucking war, where you've got I've forgotten his name, he's a lovely person. But he's the Ukrainian leader sitting there in the trenches with his people. It shows a definite difference in leadership types and skills. This is why I'm backing Ukraine. I can't stand Russia at this point. I'm disgusted with the way they conduct their wars. It seems chaotic, but to be honest, I don't think the Russians want to fucking be there, quite frankly. I think they've been, sort of frog marched into it. What do they call it? Gang something? Like the sailors used to do. Anyway, I don't think they want to be there. I think they're following orders in fear, quite frankly, and they might be there physically, but I tell you what, I doubt they're actually following those orders properly. It's the common cause. He's ruling with fear. He's not ruling with any kind of benevolence or appealing to the people. He's just being a dick. So, what do we learn about leading a war? Don't be a dick to your own people. Stop trying to force them into the shit they don't want to be in the first place. What do they call it? It's what they used to do to the sailors. I'm annoyed. I want to say gangbanging, but it's not. It's not. Well, I don't know. No, probably not. No. No. Anyway. Well, that's misuse of courage. He's spreading his own propaganda at this point. He's saying that we're winning, or Russia's winning, and they're not. But he's spreading it amongst his own people. So what he's trying to do is manipulate his people to enable him to keep allowing, his actions in a different country, his invasion. He's saying that there are Nazis and terrorists in Ukraine. And I'm going, well, fucking for a fact there is not. There is not. The terrorists, first of all, the Taliban themselves, are being most likely funded by Russia or China, because they're eyeballing India, and that's just the whole shitstorm waiting to happen. I mean, it doesn't make sense that they should be in Ukraine. It is the breadbasket you know, that area, so I can understand why they would want to invade it. But I just, you're doing it wrong, dude. I mean, first of all, you shouldn't have done it in the first place. And second of all, the way you invaded, you just cocked it up from the start. You went in ham-fisted, and that's about it. He thought, I honestly thought he thought the might of the Russia, you know, the old school Cold War, we the might of the Russia. There was no right. It was disbanded. It went underground. It's stupid. It's stupid. It's outdated as well. War is outdated. Are we not past this already? Bugs the shit out of me, this fucking boomer shit. It's like, for the glory of Russia, right? Well, right now you're not. There's no glory involved here. It's embarrassing. The glory of Russia in this globalized economy would have been to, you know, trade agreements, things like that. You want to spread your Russian culture? Then spread it nobly by, you know, forming allies. Alliances, I should say. Allies are the people involved in. I think, was it Gorbachev that just died? Or something like that. He was the one that sort of pushed forward towards building trade agreements with the, you know, westernized countries. He pushed for it. He wanted to, you know, get rid of the Cold War era sort of thing. And it is bad for Russia, basically, because reputations-wise, it's, you're bringing that shit back up again. People aren't going to want to work with you because, again, you're the Russian threat. You're the red threat. Fucking red peril. I don't know if he was expecting China to help him. At the same time, China's got its own agenda. And they're facing a shitload of economic bullshit right now. Because of their, well, essentially they created a false economy. They expanded too fast and couldn't back it up. Essentially. Anyway, courage. So what is courage? The ability to look at fear in the face and keep pushing forward. People face courage every day. Or face courage. Use courage every day, I should say. Sorry, my brain's still fried. I'm not even medicated for this flu right now. I'm just like, you'll see what happens. I'm caffeinated. Sorry. So, what do we need courage for? We need to keep going. It is a survivalist thing. It's bravery. It's looking at shit where you know the odds are stacked against you, sort of David and Goliath thing, and to keep trying. It's definitely a part of survival, because if you didn't show courage, you would, you know, curl up and die, or you'd chicken shit out and run away. What can I relate it to besides the Ukrainian war? I'm still pissed that that's even happening. However, it's like, what the fuck? You fucking boomers! Let it go. Just let it fucking go. Let it go. It's not needed anymore. Ah, shit. It's annoying. It gets in the way. Everybody's broke. Everybody's sick, and you're still pushing the shitty ass agenda. Stop it. We're tired. We just want stability. Everybody wants stability. Even the fucking Russians want stability. There's one bald-headed, puffy twat standing up and saying, I need to do this as a bucket list item. Oh, give me the shit. Anyway, sorry. I could go off on a tangent about that. You're fucking with my field prices. I hate it. It really is. It's stupid ego. Stupid ego. And all these coming across as infantile and insecure. It's not. If he's going for machoism, I don't understand it, because all it shows me is that you're insecure and that you don't give a fuck about people. You don't give a fuck about people. Not only has this stupid blip on histories, it is a blip at this point, war-wise. I'm going, this was a failed invasion. All it's done is piss off a load of people globally because they can't get their fucking foods or petrol done properly. You haven't achieved anything. There's nothing to be achieved. You killed a load of people. There's war crimes to be answered for sure, if he survives at all. If he survives at all. I foresee someone just double tapping him in the head at this point, one of his own people, because you're just creating these fucking problems. You pissed off a load of oligarchs, rich old people who basically made their money through the Soviet era and then used it to control the parliament, essentially. You pissed off a load of those. Their investments are all over the fucking shop. So it's like they've been sanctioned. So the money's got cut off or, you know, taken away. You're just creating problems. As far as I'm concerned, the oligarchs, I like the Russian mafia, essentially. They need that shit. They need things to stabilize the function. It's like any mafia, essentially. They don't want police attention. They don't want global attention. They want to function in the shadows. That way they can get away with what they want, when they want, how they want. Any attention, like Putin's fucking war, just highlighted everything that they're doing, because now people are looking into it to see what fingers Putin's got pies in. So he's just blown their cover. So of course they're going to be pissed off. So I honestly think someone's going to tap him, from behind. It's one of his own fucking people. If he's meant to be going for this father figure to a nation, he's fucking it up severely. He is sending his own people into a war that they don't want, with limited fucking resources in a COVID era. They're already sick and tired. They're going to half-ass their job for a start, and then they're just going to go, fuck it, I surrender, because I would rather be on the fighting side that's winning, under a leader like the Ukrainian leader, who actually gives a fuck about his people and isn't sitting in his ivory tower, distanced from any damage. And he's cornering himself, I think, because he's got his own people, oligarchs, I can't say it, at his back, supposedly funding a war which they don't want to fund anymore because they've just been sanctioned. And they're at his back, and at his front, his soldiers that don't want to be there in the first place, who didn't want to invade in the first place, who he essentially held a knife to, or fed propaganda to. But once they get in that field, they're going to know what the real circumstances of war are, and they're not. They don't want to. I have a strong feeling even they know that it's now a dated fucking thing and nobody wants to do it anymore. It's a stupid thing to keep going. It's not in defense of anyone. It is purely invasion. It's not like they're taking on the Taliban. It's like, the Taliban aren't doing great these days, but we've been ignoring them because of fucking Ukraine. I wonder how their system of government's going, or lack thereof. This is horrible. I'm sorry. I'm watching. I'm seeing a lot of things I don't want to see. The more I look at this, the more I see children in a sandpit throwing sand. You got one fuckhead over here who's trying to make people eat sand. And a bunch of people sitting on the side of the sandpit going, that's bad. We shouldn't do that. Should we go and help? Not yet. This is America in World War II all over again. Well, how is it going to help us? Who's the bully? Oh, well, we'll see where we'll see who's winning, we'll see who's losing, and then we'll lump with those guys. There's kids in a sandpit. The reality of the situation is everybody's getting sand thrown in their face. It's in your eyes. Everybody's eating it. Oh, Christ. Some people never grow up. Anyway, that's from the perspective of a teen track. I can't say. It's a very simplified version of what I'm seeing right now. Like, wait a minute, I've seen this on duty. Anyway, courage. Do you think the Russian soldiers have courage right now? I think they might have started off with courage because the propaganda sort of bolstered them up. The stuff that they're seeing on home soil. But at the same time, I think once they face the reality of the situation in the field and seeing what they're up against, I don't think that courage is still there. I think they're more inclined to say, I don't agree to this. Especially when it comes to seeing war crimes in action. It's like, I don't think our generation is ready to see that kind of thing. We're more of a sensitive, even in Russia, man. I mean, more of a sensitive generation with rape and murder and war crimes and decapitation and things like that. We're just not used to it. It's not like the Middle East where they fuck everyone over, you know, and they just don't care. It's like, if you steal a loaf of bread, they'll cut your fucking hand off or some shit like that. That's a generalization, I admit. But they have no problem with the death penalty over there. I will say that. And to some extent, crime and punishment-wise, I can see why you got it. Because, you know, you're only going to murder someone once, aren't you? Because you're not going to have a chance to do it again. But with the crime and punishment these days, we put them into prisons, which is rehabilitation. So, I mean, that's a whole different podcast in itself. I could go on about that and just go Dostoevsky, things like that. If you want to talk about that, that's a different thing. My personal views are slightly biased. Anyway, slightly biased, but that's a different podcast in itself. I think honestly the Russian soldiers lost courage. I think the Ukrainians are seeing their morale rise with each battle victory, which is just going to bolster it. And these people are strategic. They're not just punching their way through. They're strategic, the Ukrainians. They know their shit. They saw this coming. The Russians have been, you know, wandering around their fucking borders for years, since the Cold War. It hasn't gone away. I think they had time to prep, quite frankly, and it's very stupid the Russians even tried it. Not only have they had time to prep, they've done, the Russians come in every now and again, and they've done it with my country, UK. They come through, where was it, the Irish Sea, things like that. And they test the border with planes, and there was a sub at one point recently. And I'm sitting there going, don't even, mate. They want to test the borders. So you've shown the weapons you've got to these people already. It's like, you've seen, you know, I suppose they want to assume that it's weapons of torture. It's like you show the victim the weapons of torture before you apply them. At the same time, they've been dabbing at it. They haven't actually applied them properly. And now they've seen what the weapons are, and they can go, right, we know what we're working with now, so we'll adapt our actions and behaviours and our strategy and approach to deal with what you've shown us. And we'll probably overcompensate because they're fucking smart. And they're adaptable. And it's a breadbasket. They already got the resources. They know what they're doing. They're stupid. Russia's a bit stupid in that way. They wanted to show a force of might or whatever it was. But all they did is come across as arrogant. Better to know, to spy your enemies than to overtly just go and try and take their shit. It's like, if you're watching covertly what they're doing, you can start making plans. It's better to work in the shadows than out in the light. Obviously. Anyone will tell you that. So when you come out with your big bravado, coming out as the big I am, whereas Ukraine's sitting there in the shadows going, I see what you got there. That's fucking stupid. We're going to actually build counter-attack for that before you even hit the border. We've been waiting for this. So I'm stoked that the Ukrainians are pretty adaptive in that sense. I'm glad they've done that. Because it's a stupid fucking fight. It is. It's stupid. It's outdated and stupid. It shouldn't have never happened. It's just the arrogance of Russia. Comparable to America at this point. And I know they would hate that, to be honest, because they fucking hate America as well. I don't care for America, but it's the not because of any kind of communist sensitivities or anything. It's just the arrogance of it. Coming from the British culture, we have a more subdued approach to things. We don't blow our own horn. We are Great Britain. We know it. We don't have to pipe about it. Americans seem to have strange insecurities where they have to keep telling everyone that they're amazing. Otherwise, people will forget. And it's like, nobody forgets that Britain's amazing. We know. Everyone knows. Oh my god, I'm taking a piss. Anyway, But the arrogance associated with that kind of thing is just, that's not courage. That's just bullshit. It's pumping up your own, you know, it's your head up your ass shit. Anyway, I'm sorry, I've gone off on a tangent. I shouldn't have watched those posts this morning, because then everything's sort of been tainted with that flavour of the Ukrainian war at this point. I'm just so chuffed with how they're going. I'm like, you're doing so well, keep going. They're stupid, and they're clumsy, and they don't know what they're doing. This is easy. Oh my god. Oh. Anyway. Who tries to take over a nuclear power plant without, you know, some kind of risk associated with it? That shows how little care he has for his own soldiers. It's like, I want you to take over that nuclear power plant. What about the radiation? Fuck the radiation, I gave you orders. Wait, that's a different accent. But it's insane. That's not a courageous leader. That's someone who's using people as pawns. That's not courage. That's arrogance. I mean, first and foremost, your soldiers are your people. That's your extended family. It's your right arm. You help them where you can. You don't send them into somewhere you wouldn't have gone yourself. It's absurd. I'd never send my people somewhere. I'd never give someone something to do that I haven't already done myself and know the fallout and consequences of it. It's stupid. It's bad leadership. I want to know the risk associated with my people, so I know that they will be able to minimize the harm. You don't send your fucking troops into a... Does anybody have any kind of degree in nuclear anything? No? Great. We're taking over nuclear power plant. Oh, what fucking are we? Are you going to give us any kind of suited up protection? No. Oh my god. He sees these people as disposable. And they're not even proper, like, adults. They're children. He's taking a bunch of 18-year-olds. Oh my god. These are babies, man. If this is Mother Russia, she's fucking up her own babies. This is insane. I'm sorry, I've gone on a tangent here. I might have to rename this podcast the Ukrainian War or something. I'm just so about this whole situation. Courage. Being brave. Oh my god, that's not being brave. Ukraine's being brave. They knew what was coming. They planned ahead and they got on with it. They adapted. Canadian Army. Adapt, improvise, overcome, or something like that. I love the Canadians. Anyway, they're amazing people. Anyway, I've got to go. I know this is totally a wasted podcast, maybe. I don't know. I might have to do Courage Part 2 and actually talk about some real life. Well, it is real life, but it's you know, it's not day-to-day stuff. This is niche examples of things to talk about. I want to talk about things that people can relate to on a day-to-day basis. I know everyone's going through an economic problem. So courage in that regard refers to pressing on despite having no money, no resources and things like that. But if you think about it, we are at war. We are at war with a whole bunch of things that are happening in the world right now. What we need to do is be brave like Ukraine and courageous and keep going. Adapt and overcome. We can't know for sure what's coming. They didn't know what was coming for sure. What they did is they estimated, they planned, they strategized, they adapted, they used the resources they could get their hands on, and they kept going. That is courageous. It is admirable. I would back them 100%, and I have been since they started at this point, because I knew this was a bullshit war. I cannot believe they fucking did this. Oh God, I'm looking forward to that wedding. I really am. Because if you can stuff it up there, he goes ass any harder, Anyway, we are at war. We might be at war on the home front. They are at war on the home front in a different way. We're all at war at this point. We are mucking in as a people, as a collective, to try and get somewhere and to survive. I hope to God you guys are taking care of yourself and you are being courageous and brave like the Ukrainians. There's someone to look after. There's someone to look up to. Alright, it's Monday. I'm sorry, I've gone off on a tangent. I'll try and do a courage part 2 for civvy life, you know, at this point. Take it easy, it's Monday. If you got the flu like me, try and take it easier at this point. If you're dealing with some fucked up life things, I need you to take courage. You can do this, I know you can. This is nothing we haven't already gone through before. And if we haven't gone through these exact circumstances before, find someone who has, and you can use what they've adapted and improvised and the skills they've, you know, it's the whole point is sharing. If we form allies with things or with people, then we can share information and we can, you know, we can adapt and overcome. Take it easy. I'm going to try and do a podcast, maybe on the way home to run up to this one. But I'll definitely do one tomorrow morning. All right, see ya.